You want to talk about credibility?
What we need to know is this. What the viewers need to understand is this: is that in 2003, and that is just for clarification, I believe that's 5 years after you graduated from Bolt Hall, and so you're already in the Valley, hardcore, doing your thing, whatever. In 2003, Lisa Vorderbrueggen was still the quote-unquote transportation and growth reporter of the Contra Costa Times. What is that?
Garbage.
You know, what is that? And not only was she that, not only was she the transportation and growth reporter, she was co-signing a letter to a man named John McManus, who runs some site called Grade the News, or used to run a site. I don't know if it's still in existence. I have no idea. But basically, John McManus called out the Contra Costa Times, their new editor. I can't remember the guy's name. Last name is Lopez. Chris Lopez, I believe. And called out the editor for the editor of the Contra Costa Times was offering like a $50 bonus if people would shrink down the size of their stories for the front page. And so apparently the Contra Costa Times, some of their employees, including Lisa Vorderbrueggen, wrote some little nasty letter saying, "Oh, this shouldn't even. This has already gotten more attention. This story than it should have. We don't like this, and it's not affecting us." Blah 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 blah. So just to be clear, first of all, a question for Lisa: is that a flap? Is that a controversy? Are you controversial?
Wait a minute.
And just to make it clear, what it sounds like is that Lisa likes critiquing other people, but she doesn't like being critiqued.
Oh, no. Now, this is let's get people up to speed on this. After all of her interviews with me, and me continuing to provide her information, knowing what is going to come out. Look, the same thing happened. I told Paul years ago when Jim Rudenberg called the New York Times and doing something. I said, Paul, it's going to be a hit piece. They're almost all hit pieces. I mean, I knew what was going to be, and they all play the same game. Oh, I agree with you. Oh, anything. I mean, it's, you know what it's like? It's almost like. It's like a guy or a girl who's trying to get something for you for a hot date. You can do something. So anyone really. Forget about the dating. Anyone who really needs something from you, they're your best friend. Till they get what they need, then see ya. That's every reporter, dude. That's almost every reporter. And when they need something, you are the most important thing, and they'll work you. But that's not a conflict. You know, they just need their story so they can keep their job and try to move up. Not a conflict there. That's not deceptive at all. That's not phony, right? No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to know about all the anonymous background sources and what their motives and financial arrangements are to give Lisa the info for her story. Right? Don't need to. Don't need to know that. We don't need to know that Bob Woodward uses anonymous sources all the time. We don't need to know that a famous, one of the big famous books, written by Joe Klein about the Clinton, was done anonymously. We don't need to know any of that. All reporters use anonymous sources. Now you can either say that's good or bad. Okay? But that's nothing, there's nothing unique about that by John Villarreal or on the right or anybody else. Right? So, now, let's bring people up to speed on this flap situation. After she interviewed me and I provided all the information she wanted and got all the different little things that she could want, then, amazingly, I get this email. Oh, we also sent out, I believe, we sent out the videos to her. Because, see, I'm a straight up dude. I don't do anything behind anyone's back. Here's the videos. Check it out. You can link to them. They might be helpful for your story, whatever like that. Guess she didn't like them. I guess she didn't like the fact that, that her story was basically nothing, that Beadles was exposed, that the whole thing was a tempest in a teapot.
Yeah. We jumped the story and interrupted her narrative.
And let's bottom line it. But don't make the suppositions about what is and isn't good and what methods. Let's bottom line it. Like people want to attack the National Enquirer because of the National Enquirer instead of dealing with the fact of the whether the Tiger Woods story, which was true, or the John Edwards story, which was true, and they were first, were true. They were true. You can sit here and attack this, and you didn't do it first. They did. They got it. So yeah, so you're trying to hit us without dealing with the fact of the story's true, right? So whatever. I mean, and so, you know, and you can try to say, well, we're playing favorites. We're not playing favorites. Anyone can come and post. Now, that's...
Yeah, as we said, Robert Beadles had, he had first dibs to come on in. He just didn't do it.
I don't know if he had first dibs, but he was early.
Well, whatever. He
had a
chance to come in before the other person ever came in, and he didn't do it. That's his. That's on him.
Yeah, it was on him. And so anyway, so after everything was done, the whole thing was down. I believe it was like, you know, our writer said that they're already going to reveal who they were and put everything up, and the whole thing was done, right? Because now a little bit of background for those that know. There's a big event coming up for the Republicans, a forum for the candidates. It's going to be like 1,000 people. It's going to be huge, and you know, we're going to be covering it very, very closely and promoting it and helping out and hopefully getting some good interviews with candidates, this, that, whatever. At some point, there was a little miscommunication early on, and we cleared it up in the last video and stuff like that. And at the very beginning with some emails, because of some of the back and forth with the organizer, we thought that maybe we were going to be moderator or get to asking questions, and we weren't sure. We offered that, you know, we were open to it. So continuing, you know, so... Here, well, before I even get let me finish that. So after everything is said, she has her story. We have the videos. We respond to it. We send him the videos. She's talked to our guy. He says that he's going to put his name out there and whatever like that. We, you know, as long as he wanted to do it, we're all for it. In fact, I wanted that from the beginning. But, you know, if someone comes to us and the only way we're going to get great info, the guy's a great source. He's a great source. She would talk to him too. She's probably mad that that he doesn't talk to her, or whatever like that. So I mean, in my mind, in my opinion, this looks a lot like she's just trying to kill the heat that we have and then news sources that we have. And take down the leading Republican candidate. There's a shock.
Well, let me just say too, you were talking about maybe emails about, I don't know, a forum or something.
Right. And so anyway, so this is after everything has been said. Now, we had been talking with these people that are putting on this big, big event for the Republican candidates. And I'd already been thinking about doing a debate or forum myself, right? Because, dude, I'm a talk show host. I've interviewed candidates for decades. And I do a really good job at it. People really like what we do. This isn't me saying it. You can go, see, unlike Lisa, who promotes herself saying this, and I don't know if anyone else has said this, you can go on our videos and look at everyone else saying it from around the world that I do a great job in the interviews. And I've interviewed, you know, Jim Pinkerton from Fox for 3 hours instead of 30 minutes because we did a great job. Why? Because I know the issues. I'm a talk show host. I can ask questions. I disclose where I'm coming from.
And let's be clear too. And I'm not disparaging anything or saying anything bad about. You know, you're charismatic, and some other people not so much.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. And so, and that's the other thing. The test is the marketplace. I got paid to do talk radio in San Francisco at KSFO. I got paid to have my own national TV show. You don't, okay? And I'm much younger than you. So what does that mean? That means that I'm freaking good, really good, by objective standards. And I know more than you on all this stuff. And I'm smarter than you, and I ask better questions than you, Lisa. And we'll prove that too. Or at least I don't know if you can necessarily prove that. I think that you sort of can, but we'll at least give you the evidence for you to decide yourself.
Like I said, I mean, we can wrap up the stuff about the forum and all that.
Yeah. So the whole thing with the forum is this, right? So regardless of what anyone thinks about anything, right? we thought we were going to have some relationship with this, with well, we do. I mean, we're going to cover it. We're going to be front row. We're going to talk to candidates. We're going to do this, that, whatever. At first, I thought maybe we're going to ask some questions, whatever. But then it was, you know, it's this other guy Singh, and we're totally in favor of that. And we're going to help him promote it and cover it. This, that. We'll get plenty of our stuff. I don't need to ask a question during the forum. It doesn't matter. I can ask questions afterwards. I can do my thing, whatever, like that. Blah blah blah. Fine. I'd rather have all my own thing anyway. And then he's going to help us with our thing. I told Lisa that. I said in the videos. It was clear. There was no confusion. Right? Everybody knew this. That when we're covering the event, we're going to help promote it. They're going to help promote ours when we put ours on, if we get to do that. Done deal. John Villarreal is not moderating this event on January 11th.